friends, I'm Kanchan from Akulmek Technologies and you are welcome to our series Great Kings of India. And as you know, we are discussing about the Lalitadit, the great king of India. And we can safely compare him with Alexander, though he is far ahead of Alexander in terms of carrying the empire, conquest, and he was a very, very good king with who is somehow not being given due credit. To discuss more about this wonderful king, the great king of India, Lalita Ditya, we have renowned historian Mrs. Meeta Joshi, who is the head of the department of one of the prestigious college in Hyderabad, Saint College for Women. So, welcome to the show, Meeta ji. How are you today?
Namaskar, Kanchan. I am fine. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. And as you know that we are discussing Lalita Dit the Great in our this episode. So I would like to hear more about about his conquest, his ability as a general, how things were at that point of time when it comes to army of Lalita Ditya.
See, we all know that Lalitaditya was a great king. Okay, and what makes him great is his military skills which he possessed. He had many Chinese mercenaries and generals in his army, which made his army more, superior. And if you see the conquests, at one point of time, his empire was from Uzbekistan to Sundarbans in the Bengal. So it was a huge empire, a huge empire. After defeating Yashovarman, the king of Kanigupt or Kannauj, he headed towards the south, which is known as Dakshinapatha in the pages of history. So Dakshinapath was a trade route. So he went through that route. He even in the records in the book Raj Tarangini written by Kalhana, it is mentioned that he even went till the Ratta Empire. Ratta means Rashtrakutas, which were in down south. So he had the extent till there. And after Dakshinapath, then North, East, then as I told you yesterday, Central Asia, Afghanistan. So his reach was far and wide. About his military skills, if we see, one thing which makes him very, very unique from others, like as you mentioned in the introduction, that we call him the Alexander of India. But remember one thing, Kanchan, Alexander was a brutal, king. He killed innocent people, he burned their houses, his army. They took women as slaves. They did all sorts of things which should not be done in a war. They had no war ethics. But Lalita Ditya and his army, they followed the war ethics written in the Shastras. There are certain set of rules, you have to follow, like you start from early morning, then after sunset you will not fight. So many rules were laid out by the Shastras. Then you will not harm the innocent people. What the foreign invaders did, the Islamic invaders or foreign invaders, they destroyed the crops, they killed innocent people, they raped the women, they took children and women as slaves with them, all kinds of atrocities they did. But in the contrary, Lalita Ditya was a king, a general who followed the ethics of warfare. They followed the ethics of warfare, and as I told you yesterday, even his name is mentioned in the one of the books related with the Tang dynasty of China. That means he had relationships with them. Even Al Baruni, he was a visitor to India, who wrote in his chronicles in around 12th or 13th century, he has also mentioned about the greatness, about the valor, courage, his army, because his army had elephants, his army had horses, his army had artillery. So all that is mentioned in various historical evidences which we have, the records, like Kalhana's Raj Tarangini. Then we get in this Al-Biruni's accounts. Then we get his mention in the Tang dynasty. So his military conquests were far and wide. Apart from this, if you see, where some accounts say that he died fighting, because once he returned to Kashmir and he built many temples and cities, many temples of Vishnu, Shiva, and sun god Martand, many amenities for the people, like as I told you, canals, water channels, and bunds to store the water. So all that he done, but uh, he was, as I told you, he was a great warrior, and some accounts say that he died fighting in the uh, in the battlefield. He
Yeah, actually, I also come to know that he has divided his kingdom into five different segments
Yes,
where they
yes.
were ruled by different princes. So, administration wise, also he has set up very wisely, apart from being
And
conquesting.
why we should remember him, Kanchan, Laitaditya, but not only because of his administration or because of his warfare, but he was a patriot too.
Yes.
He guarded the boundaries of India from Muslim invasions.
Right.
Because if you see, the people of Muhammad bin Qasim, after Muhammad bin Qasim, you don't get any foreign invasions for 300 years.
Okay.
So, because he had that fear, people had that fear of Laitaditya, that no Arab, no Arabian invasion, no other foreign invasion happened in that time period. And because Kashmir, see, Kashmir was known for its richness, because it was a hill station, Kashmir, and because of saffron, so many things Kashmir was known. So foreign invaders, they were allured to attack that area. But because of Lalitaditya, because of his might, because of his fear, no foreign invader had the courage to have any invasion on India that time. So 300 years you don't get any account of any invasions. After Muhammad bin Qasim, there is a gap. And then after Laitaditya, after the death of Laitaditya, again you see that foreign invasions they started, because his time period is
Right.
like from 724 to 760, or some historians say 765 CE. But again, then you see Muhammad Ghazni, Mahmud Ghazni, 1080 to 1017 AD. 17 times he invaded India. But in between, you don't get any account of any foreign invasion. So that is the greatness. Plus, following the ethics of warfare. It was not, that brutal kind of thing, that if we are going to invade, we are going to kill, we are going to destroy. No, the innocent people were not even harmed that way. So these all things make him great. And the legacy of temples he left, but unfortunately all of them were destroyed by the invaders again, which is very very unfortunate. But he created the temples which he got built, many cities he got built, many pillars. One pillar is there which is around 65 feet high, and there is a garuda on the top, the Vahana of Lord Vishnu. So that way, architecturally also, he built colleges. He built in Raj Tarangini. It is mentioned that he built even universities, Vishwavidyalays. But again, all that was destroyed by the invaders. Whatever work he did, that was totally destroyed by the invaders. Because if you see the San Martin temple, only now the remains are there. So the main temple was surrounded by 84 small shrines, and it is written that in his time period there was temples, shrines in every village, town, city. So uh, cultural growth was also there, not only architecture, in field of this education, agriculture, all aspects he worked, all aspects.
Yeah, so when we talk about Lalita Ded, so can we think that his empire, his history is being systematically being erased from history book, or how it is? Since when he conquered and when he reached with a wealth to Kashmir, and he has, I think, established Kashmir in a massive way in terms of administration, in terms of building great building, architectural advancement. So, is it possible that his profile is systematically being erased from history for some reason?
Yes, 100% it was done, because you don't find mention about him in your history books. You know all the Mughal emperors. You get a mention in our textbooks. Why not Lalita Ditya? You please tell me.
Yes,
And he was such a great king. He was such a great king.
yeah,
He yeah, see, only in his time period no invasions happened. Why? Because he was a courageous king. His his people were afraid of him because of his courage, because of his army, because of the setup he has done. The Chinese mercenaries, the Chinese generals who were there in the army. You find all other mentions. You find Akbar in the history books. You find the kings of Delhi Sultanate.
right.
All you find Muhammad bin Tughlaq. You find a mention. You find a mention of Alauddin Khilji. Again, he was a barbaric king. So why not Lalita Ditya? Why not Lalita Ditya?
It is quite sad actually because we have in
Yes.
our history such a great king who has maintained, conquered area more than anybody else in that point of time. And then there was also somebody who has, at that time, I think Caliphate was also in a shabby period. There was so quarreling, fighting was happening at that part of the world, but he still maintained and stopped because people
The
are
the,
attacking.
Khal- the Khalifa sent people that time to India. That Junaid was killed by Lalita Ditya, and after that they were got so frightened that no person from the Caliphate visited India in his time period.
Yes, and I
And
don't. Yes,
I'm sure, Kanchan, many people would not be knowing about Lalita Ditya. Before there are videos in YouTube, yes, but it was not a popular name. So it is very sad.
yes, and I also feel that he, in his army, when we talk about his army, he has cavalry, he has elephant, which is included while attacking Kannauj, that kind of areas, and he has a full-fledged professional army where we have, I think somehow we are not getting full account of his army management because his profile, his achievement has been erased, and it is sad. I really feel that we should revive his history, his history of his period. And that is very, very essential to feel proud, for young generation especially, to feel proud that we had so many good kings, and we should have that kind of knowledge also, that from where we are coming as a race.
and and one more sad part is that we always want to validate our history by Western historians, because when the Western historians like Steen and Goetz, they certified, yes, Lalitaditya was there. He is mentioned as the name Muttai because his full name was Lalitaditya Muktapida. So he is mentioned as Muttai in the records. So why we need validation, I don't understand.
Yes.
When it is very much there, till your own historians are telling you, till Kallana has mentioned in Rajtaranjini, Dr. R.C. Majumdar in his book Ancient India has mentioned about Lalitaditya. And then you want the European historians to validate that.
Yes, very
It is very sad.
right, because I think
We still slave from here.
right, right.
Still that slavery has not gone from our minds.
Right. So I think historians who are upcoming historians should take initiative to really dig out our old, profound and yes, great history, and they should write in the way so that young people of India should be inspired and should enjoy reading, should know that from where our race is coming from, and that, yes, that will make all of us proud. It was so lovely talking to you, Mitaji, today, and we'll be discussing more about great kings of India in our next episode. Till then, bye bye, take care.
Thank you, Kanchi.